Hey guys, I'm going to do a quick social studies lesson. In the last lesson, we talked about rights and responsibilities of citizens. Remember, a citizen is a person who is a member of a group or a community. Um, we are part of many communities: a school community, a family community, a town community, um, and we have certain rights and responsibilities in our country. Rights are freedoms that are protected by our government, and the government is the men and women who lead our community or lead our country. And then we have certain responsibilities, um, which are some things that we should do. So, for example, we have the right to feel safe in our community or country, but then we also have to act safe. That's our responsibility. We have the right to be treated fairly in our country and community, but then we also have to treat others fairly. That's our responsibility. We have the right to um, be respected in our community or country, but then we also have the responsibility to respect others. We have the right to feel protected by the rules and laws of our country, but we also have to follow the rules and laws. That's our responsibility. Okay? So we're going to talk about why citizens living in a community need rules and laws. That's what I want you to think about. Why do we need rules and laws? They're both important. Um, they protect citizens' safety and rights. Um, Rights are things that we all deserve, remember. But rules and laws protect people in different ways. Rules guide behavior in families or schools, in games or other organizations. Maybe if you play a sport, there are rules. So a family rule might be no running in the house, or you have to wash the dishes after you eat, or you maybe need to be respectful to your parents. In school, there a rule might be no talking while somebody else is talking. Also, to be respectful is usually a school rule. You might have a rule if you play a sport to treat everyone fairly. But rules are different from family to family and school to school and group to group or organization to organization. But rules have to be followed because they protect people's safety. So think about what kind of rules you have at school and what kind of rules you have at home or in any other group that you belong to. It might be even a religious group. And what happens if you break one of those rules? Think about that. Usually there's a punishment, which is called a consequence, that you might receive for breaking a rule. Maybe at school you would not get to play at recess, or maybe you have to go back to your seat, or maybe you have to apologize to someone whose feelings you hurt. Maybe at home you get no playtime, or you can't use your phone or computer. Maybe you have to go to bed early. Those are all consequences that you might have for breaking a rule. Now, laws are different because laws control behavior not in families and schools, but in communities in the country. And laws are the same for everyone in the community or country. They're not different from family to family or school to school. Laws are written by and voted on by the government leaders, the people that lead our country. And the government is made up of a lot of men and women that lead our community, but there's one person that is in charge of all of those people. In the town or city, like New York City, the mayor is in charge of all the government people in the city. Um, in the state, the governor is in charge of all the government people or leaders in the state. And the president is in charge of all the government leaders in the country. So, what kind of laws do we have in our community and country? And what happens if we break a law? We also get a consequence, but usually the consequences are more severe. You might get a fine, you have to pay money, or you might go to prison. So, I want you to think about why communities have rules and laws, but also how are rules and laws the same and different. So, I'm going to have you complete what's called a Venn diagram. So I have it up here, and I'm going to turn the camera so you can see the Venn diagram. This is called a Venn diagram. And a Venn diagram is used to compare things. So in the middle are how the things are how the two things are the same. It says similar, which means same. And then on the sides, one thing goes on one side and one thing goes on the other. You might be comparing two books, how they're different, how they're the same. You might compare two pets, how they're different, how they're the same. Well, today we're going to compare, our topic is rules and laws. And I've attached this Venn diagram in the lesson. So one side is going to be rules, and the other side is going to be laws, and always in the middle is how they are the same. So I want to show you how on the sides you put right next to each other how they're different, and then in the middle is how they're the same. So we'll do one together, and then you'll try to do some other ones by yourself. So on this side, if I want to say something about who has rules, I might say that families and schools. And you don't have to write incomplete sentences on a Venn diagram. It's like you're taking little notes down. Rules are for families and schools, and laws are for communities and countries. And sometimes we put like a little dot to separate them to make the notes. So then when you do the next one, you'll put the next dot. Okay, and then in the middle, we might say one thing that's the same is they keep us safe. And I'll put the dot there, and then you can put the next dot for the next one. Okay? So now you try to complete, you can copy the ones that I have here, and then try to add from the lesson. To help you, I've attached a book from Epic, which I hope you can get into. I've attached a YouTube video, and I think maybe I attached two books, I'm not sure, but it's in the lesson there at the bottom are the attachments to help you. And of course you can use what I taught you in the lesson. When you're finished, take a picture of your Venn diagram and send it to me, okay? I can't wait to see what you come up with. I'll see you next time, okay?